Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Wellspring, and good morning out in Zoom land. Welcome. December already. What happened? Where did the year go? Here we are. Well, today is December 3rd. My name is Vicki Avery. I'm a member of the board of directors here at Wellspring. And welcome. We have a few announcements as always. So Early Birds meets Sunday mornings at 9:30 via Zoom. The link is in the weekly email or on the webpage. And our speaker today is Donna Stryker. Welcome back, dear. Next week on the 10th is Reverend Sandy. The 17th is Reverend Kamatara. The 24th, Christmas Eve Day, is Dr. Edward. And the 31st is Peggy Shin. It's so nice to see such amazing folks here. A lot of new faces. We have Jerry, we have Andy, we have Jean has joined us. Welcome, everyone. We have a special guest vocalist today, too. I heard him warming up. He has the voice of an angel. We are so blessed. Thank you, Mason, for being here. The Thursday night group is starting a new series. It will be Mystery Teaching by Teresa Bullard. Teresa is a PhD, definitely interweaves complex concepts from ancient mystery teachings and quantum physics to bring us real-world ways in which we can deepen our spiritual connections and manifest a fulfilled life. So that should be wonderful. Today, this afternoon at 3 o'clock, the Mesilla Valley Chorale presents its holiday concert, Swinging Through the Holidays. It's at the Rio Grande Theater downtown. Admission is $10, and tickets may be purchased at the door. Our very own Judy Bethman is one of the conductors, and our guest speaker today is also part of the chorale. The Board of Trustees is going to meet this Wednesday, December 6th, a week early, because we have a member that will be leaving town. So we're going to meet December 6th at 6:30 on Zoom. Everybody is invited, and we really encourage folks in the congregation to come and be part of that because your input is very valuable. We have a new book in the book store called Anderson Light. It's a local author, Tanya Dawson, and it's on sale, and part of the proceeds is she's going to donate back to Wellspring. So please check it out. And next Saturday, our December get-together on December 9th is going to be downtown at the Downtown Blues Coffee House from 10 to noon. They have blues music, and then we're gonna go next door and have lunch at Mateo's Mexican restaurant. So please join us. Then you can, I'm reading it off of here. Then you can sashay over to Jim Moore's pottery show. So sashay away. And that's at Gallery 925. The gallery itself is open that day from 11 to 5. There's a large selection of Pottery Guild members' items there. And he won't be participating in the inside show at all. Okay, but you're going to be there from 9 to 4.
Some of us are outside.
Some are outside.
Just for the day, but the other stuff's there already.
Okay. He's there, so if you want to see his wonderful pottery, make sure you scoot on over. And where is Gallery 925? 925 Mesquite. That's very convenient how that works out. Oh, somebody should have told me. Anyhow. Lastly, our prayer team remains ready to serve and support you. You may submit a request via our webpage or there is sign-up slips back at the sachet back there, and you can give it to Edward. And then the prayer team meets virtually on Tuesday afternoons at 4:15 to pray with you. You may consider sitting in your quiet space during that time, because we know we are one in spirit, and the energy of prayer knows no limits. And now it's time for the invocation. Mother, Father, God, Great Spirit, we come together today as a like-minded community. We are so grateful for this time to celebrate life, to celebrate a new season of light, to be together to support each other on our own spiritual journeys. We know that Spirit is in, through, and around each one of us, and for this we give great thanks as we say together, and so it is. And now, stand if you are able, and we will sing the Song of Joy. You may be seated. And now, if you will please say with me our vision, mission, and our affirmation. If you can't see this, it is written on one of the handouts. Okay. Our vision: to elevate spiritual consciousness in our world. Our mission: to support individual spiritual quests through celebration, study, counsel, loving fellowship, and service. And our affirmation: as we celebrate this season of light, I acknowledge and affirm that I am a unique expression of light in the world. I generously and gratefully share my light with the entire cosmos, and so it is. And now it's time for our guest musician, Mason Hooley, and Barry will introduce him.
Good morning, everybody. So I'm very excited today about our singer. I met him just a few weeks ago, actually, through Patricia Carr. Some of you may know her. And he came over to kind of sing for me so I get a feeling of what kind of music he does. And after one measure, I thought, okay, he's hired. But you're about to experience that. I will say that he graduated in music from Northwestern University in Chicago in 2022, and then he finished his business administration degree, advanced degree, here this year. So he's here for a short time, unfortunately. Fortunately for him, unfortunately for us, as you'll see. And he'll be heading to Washington, D.C. in January for a job. So without further ado, I'll introduce you to Mason Hooley.
Thank you. That was beautiful. We are so blessed with such talent here. So I'm going to do a little plug for Early Birds, if you don't mind. We just started a new book, Access the Real You, and really briefly, it talks about that everything that we need, happiness, creativity, unconditional love, is within us, and we just need to get access to it. And so that's what this book will take us through, that practice of learning how to access that which is already within us. It's a great book, and please, if you don't already attend, think about coming to Early Birds, 9:30 via Zoom. Thank you. And now for the reading. Pick a page, Vic. Here it is. This is a reading from This Thing Called You by Ernest Holmes. Just 3 little short snippets here. I know that I am one with God. I know that God in me is perfect. I know that my real nature is spiritual. I know that I exist in a boundless good, in a heavenly state, and in perfect being. I know that my mind is being acted upon by pure spirit. Divine intelligence guides me into peace, happiness, and success, into joy, love, and perfect life. Today, I enter into my kingdom of joy, into my inheritance of happiness. I know that every good purpose which I entertain is already accomplished. I know that every constructive demand or request that I make upon the universe is already granted. I know that I am governed by divine law. I know that I am inspired by divine intelligence and guided by divine reason. I expect everything I do to prosper. I enthusiastically expect success. I let good flow into my experience. I am seeing good in every direction I look. I am looking forward to more good. I am entering into a deep understanding of life. I am recognizing my union with all people and all events. And so it is. And now it's my great honor to introduce our speaker, Donna Stryker.
Thanks, Vicki. I think it's pretty funny that Vicki had that book for the Zoom early birds, because we did not talk. I did not speak to her about this at all. I didn't even tell Edward till yesterday about 4 o'clock what the title of the talk was. And when I heard Vicki say that, it's just the demonstration of Spirit. Spirit is in through around us all the time. And it just continues to manifest in my life in the most amazing ways. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm very expressive. And when I'm happy, I cry. And so I might be crying a little today because I'm really, really happy. Talk is happiness, an inside job. The first reading is coming from a book in my incredible library from being a practitioner. It's called Ernest Holmes' The Man. And it's an incredible book if you get a chance to pick it up. On happiness. I do not believe in a suffering God. The very nature of the divine is harmony, balance, beauty, and love, and evidence throughout all life and the universe. And these are qualities that comprise happiness. No man has ever experienced half enough happiness in his life. I am sure that God wants us to be happy. Somehow, if we are happy, God is happy with us. I am sure God wants us to be happy. Somehow, if we are happy, God is happy with us. Is that not the coolest thing ever? Okay, I can go now. No, I'm just kidding. I was just going to say, we'll just get Vicki's book for early birds and you don't need my talk. This actually is from 2004. I did a talk similar to this in 2004. And when I looked at the date, I went, what happened? Where did the time go? And it just spoke to me. And it is so nice to see you too. I missed you. Thich Nhat Hanh said in anger, wisdom for cooling the flame. And he says in his introduction to the practice of happiness, a people look for happiness outside of themselves. But true happiness must come from inside of us. Okay, so this is not a new thought. Spirit talked to us. We know you're going to do it in Early Birds. There's this amazing author, Canadian author, and he is a bestseller in Canada for his books on spirituality and business. And one of his books was The 7 Steps to Lasting Happiness. And he begins his introduction with a sentence that in reflection of his quest to find sustained happiness, he realized that lasting happiness comes from fully appreciating each waking moment, living with integrity, humility, striving to reach one's full potential, and making a difference in the lives of others. It is not based off what we have, but on what we are. It is something within us, not outside of us. I think there's a pattern emerging here. Yesterday, I don't know how to actually post anything on Facebook, but I lurk. Does anybody else lurk on Facebook? So I was lurking on Facebook, and I have an acquaintance who has had breast cancer, had breast cancer, and continues to struggle with her cancer. And she posted this after I'd already done my whole talk. So I'm going to slip it in right here because Spirit was obviously looking out for me. Happiness cannot be traveled to, owned, earned, worn, or consumed. Happiness is the spiritual experience of living every minute with love and grace and gratitude. Spirit is really cool. I'm just like amazed. Just my heart is full. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, in the Handbook for Living the Art of Happiness, says happiness is the purpose of life, and that every motion in our life is towards happiness. Think about that. Every motion in our life is towards happiness. But then there are two contemporary gurus, if you've ever heard of them, Calvin and Hobbes. Just saying, brilliance. And they sum up our quest to look to others for our answers. Hobbes, what you doing? Calvin, getting rich. Hobbes, really? Calvin, yeah, I'm writing a self-help book. There's a huge market for this stuff. First, you convince people there's something wrong with them. That's easy, because advertising has already conditioned people to feel insecure about their weight and their looks and their social status and their sex appeal and so on. Next, you convince them that the problem is not their fault and that they're a victim of larger forces. That's easy because that's what people believe anyway. Nobody wants to be responsible for their own situation. Finally, you convince them that your advice and your encouragement, and they can conquer their problems and be happy. Hobbes, ingenious. What problem will you help people with? Their addiction to self-help books. My book is called Shut Up and Stop Whining. How to do something with your life besides think about yourself. Hobbes, you probably should think about getting the advance before you buy anything. Calvin, the trouble is, if my program works, I won't be able to write a sequel. True? I have an incredible library, and I don't call them self-help books. I call them the books that help me come to the journey, and they're affirmations. Every book I have in my library, in my spiritual library, is affirmation after affirmation after affirmation. But I think you get the point. I'm definitely getting that happiness is not something you can buy or sell, cannot be given to you by your mom and dad, or taken away by your mom and dad, or your partners, or your friends, or your lovers, or strangers. Is this another one of those messages where this is all about me and I can't blame them for my lack of happiness? I hate when that happens. Darn. So it's an inside job. It's up to me. It's my responsibility, no one else's. If it's to be, it's up to me. Sound familiar? So how do I get it? Besides going to the early birds, I'm just plugging for you there, Vicki. How do you get it? Where is it? How do I figure this out for myself if someone's not going to give it to me? A magic pill, like that one, the gummies on Facebook about how to lose weight. It doesn't exist, so there is no magic pill. Abraham Lincoln said that people are just about as happy as they make up their mind to be. There it is again. It's up to me. Remember when you were a child or an adult and you really wanted something really badly, and you knew if you got it, you would be happy. And then miracles of miracles, you got it. Exactly what you asked for. The most perfect thing ever in your whole life, remember? 8th grade, Capezios. Mom, you remember this? Capezios. Does anybody know what Capezios is? It was a ballet slipper kind of cool shoe, and all the rich kids had it, and I didn't have one. I really wanted it. Did you have Capezios? They were like ballet slippers, and they're all pretty, and I had huge feet. Why I would want them, I don't know. But anyway, I had to have Capezios. And I got them. Yeah. And then a few days later, it rained, and I was walking in my Capezios, and they pretty much fell apart. So much for the perfect thing. But have you ever wanted something so bad and you do get it, and then a few days later it's like, okay, what's the new great thing? What's the new best thing? What's the new answer to all of my problems? Happiness is connected to ego. Ego doesn't want you to be happy. So ego sets it up so you're always wanting and desiring things outside of yourself. The irony of happiness. This was a Samism when I was working with Sam as his practitioner. The irony of happiness. And it resonated in me so much so that I actually wrote it down and was able to find it for this talk, which was amazing. Did you know that one of the synonyms for irony is insecurity? And did you know that one of the synonyms for happiness is joy? Put that aside for now, but think about the insincerity of joy, and I'm going to come back to it. What I got from the irony of happiness was that ego doesn't want us to be happy per se, because we will always want more. Therefore, we can never be happy. Then ego is safe. Are you telling me, Donna, we're never going to be happy? No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. Honey, could you hand me that Kleenex? Because my nose is running. Sorry. It makes me happy that I have a Kleenex. I'm really happy. I'm so happy to be here. In my search for the readings and ideas, I ran across one of Harold Kushner's book, When All I Ever Wanted Wasn't Enough. And he shares the idea, if you ask the average person what they want in life, they will probably say, all I want to do is be happy. That's all I want. I just want to be happy. And he goes on to share that most of us want to be happy, and he does believe we work pretty darn hard at being happy. We buy books, attend classes, change our lifestyle, all in an ongoing effort to find that elusive, qualifying happiness. But in spite of all of this, are we happy? Sometimes. Why do so many people with so many reasons to be happy feel so acutely that something is missing in their life? Is happiness a goal we're not meant to get to no matter how hard we work? Or is it possible for us to be happy and we're just going around about it the wrong way? Oscar Wilde once wrote, in this world, there are only two tragedies. One is not getting what one wants, and the other is getting it. We're so human. Us spiritual beings having this human experience, I'm telling you. If we believe we're rich and powerful, we will want no more, right? We'll have been arrived. We will be accepted. And no matter how hard we work at being accepted, or when I was a kid, popular, and no matter how, I think we still do that as adults. Anybody in here still want people to like them? Okay, sometimes I do. But we never seem to reach the point where we can relax and feel like we've arrived. Actually, I felt that way when I walked into Sanctuary this morning. When I walked into the fellowship hall, I felt like I'd arrived. Thank you, Edward. I really appreciate that. If our sense of who we are depends on money, wealth, popularity, acceptance of others, we will always be dependent on other people and their opinion, and they have power over us and how we see ourselves. And I don't think that that's what God meant by dominion. All ego-driven. Ego is a synonym for self, sense of self. Ironic? Our souls are hungry for a sense of self. Not for wealth or power, but for peace, happiness, and joy. For dominion over our own lives. Dominion, dominion, dominion. What is dominion? Well, in the thesaurus, it means power, authority, control. Do we want control over our lives so we'll be happy? And all the teachings, and all the books, and all the seminars that I've read, researched, attended, practitioner studies, everything, I did not get that we don't have control. God, Spirit, was in the driver's seat, and all we had to do was let go and let God. Woman I used to work for, very devout Christian, very, very devout Christian, could quote Bible verses all day long, except when it came to letting go and letting God. Because she would tell me, because we prayed, it worked. We actually would pray at work. It was very cool that way. But she, well, you know, I think God needs a little help in this area. I mean, she actually thought she could fix things herself and leave the God out of the equation. And she truly believes that. You know, getting out of the way would not work for her. But it taught me something very valuable. It taught me something very valuable, that absolutely you have to get out of the way. Let go and let God. Because if I just can't let go of whatever, then I'm not letting go, and I don't have dominion. I think I'm getting it. I'm 68, going to be 69 years old. Some of us learn slower than others. Okay, I'm just saying, some of you are smarter than I am. I'm just a slow learner. So if I would allow God, and not my ego, and not my own wishes to override my journey and the path that I'm supposed to walk, it would unfold before me. And then I'd be happy. Probably, for the most part. Sometimes not. It would depend on how much I can let go. Let go. Let go. We're not really good at this, by the way. Anybody else have that issue in their life where they just can't let go and let God 100% of the time? That's because we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And humans are flawed, and it's okay. So I'm in good company today, right? Yes. But maybe, just maybe, I'm onto something here. Is our happiness determined by how much we try to control the things that are no way in hell going to be able to be controlled? Ah, the irony of happiness. Again, that Sam had told me about. In Joel Goldsmith's Man Was Not Meant to Cry, he quoted Robert Browning. Now think about Joel Goldsmith, spiritual writer, Robert Browning, poet. Truth is within ourselves. There is an innermost center to us all, where the truth abides in fullness. And to know rather consists in opening out a way whence the imprisoned splendor may escape, than effecting the entry for a light supposed to be without. I had to read it like 5 times to really get what it was saying. I didn't understand it at first, and then I went, aha. I love those aha moments. So once again, the same message, the same thread is there. It is within us. Okay, enough already. We already know this, Donna. Get on with it. It is within. It's not a thing. It's not outside of me. Then where the heck is it? It must be in that book that we're going to read in Early Birds. I want that book. How about we look at it? Bliss, joy, happiness, all representing a thing that is a feeling, an experience. What is it? Why is it not in our experience all the time? There's 3 reasons. Anthony DeMello says there's only one reason you are not experiencing bliss at this present moment, and it is because you are focusing on what you don't have. Focusing on what I don't have? How can that be? I don't even know what I want most of the time. Sadness or lack of happiness is a habit of processing the world from a place of lack. Joy, on the other hand, is a way of processing the world from a perspective of what you have and what is right. So the number one reason for most of us not experiencing happiness is we focus on lack, not on what we have. When I read that, I had to agree, and I didn't like that. I don't know how you feel about that, but when I thought about that, I thought, oh, I'm happy all the time. Ask my husband, am I not Little Miss Joyful most of the time? And then when I'm not happy, I had to realize that, why? And I read this and I went, oh my gosh, that's me. I'm not focusing on all of the love in my life and all the light in my life and all the joy in my life and all the people who love me and I love them and family and friends, and the list goes on and on and on of what I have. It's a very short list of what I do not have. The number 2 reason. Remember when I said to think about the insincerity of joy? Joy is being one with God. And I believe when I'm not joyful or happy, I'm insincere in my spiritual practice, and I'm not connected, and I'm in the belief that I am separate. And that is not the truth. I am not separate from spirit. But when I am not sincere in my connection with God, and I don't pray or I don't meditate, I don't remember where spirit and the energy of God is in my life, I let my spiritual practices lapse. And the joy and the happiness that I normally, naturally feel are gone. They're hiding from me, it seems. Stay connected to Spirit, and you will be in bliss. That's pretty simple. I like that. Stay connected to Spirit. But I told you last time when I talked, have you ever driven in Las Cruces? How do you stay connected to Spirit on Highway 70 or on Main Street or at a stoplight or a stop sign when nobody will go? And how do I stay connected? Do you guys all, have you ever experienced that feeling? So then I think God must be in the car in front of me. And this is his opportunity to give me the opportunity to love him more. I'm really working on this one, though. I haven't accomplished it yet, but I am working on it. This is part of the inside job. Centering. Entering an awareness of the one mind, the one spirit, God. We teach in religious science, in New Thought, we are one with God. And that's when we feel happy, when we're connected. God is all there is. I am one with God. Simple, so simple. Reason number 3, having no purpose in our life. Having a purpose in life is, to quote Wayne Dyer, like bathing in joy. That is such a cool thing, bathing in joy. When there is a deep sense of purpose or meaning in your life, there is spiritual joy. You are in communion with your highest aspect of yourself. Your God consciousness, and it all comes down to our thoughts about all of this. Purpose is found by being willing to suspend your ego, knowing that you are eternally connected to God. Remember that thoughts are things. Change your thinking, change your life. One of the first things that I learned in Science of Mind. And all of those all directly come back to you. Joy and happiness is found in the absence of striving for it and realizing that it is within you. The Buddha said, if you do not get it from yourself, where will you go for it? That's profound. I have a reading I want to share from you from Thoughts Are Things from the Healing series by Ernest Holmes. It's on dominion. You know that there is a God power at the center of every man's being, a power that knows neither lack, limitation, nor fear, sickness, disquiet, not imperfection. But because you are an individual, you can build a wall of negative thoughts between yourself and this perfection. The wall which keeps you from your greatest good is built of mental blocks cemented together by fear and unbelief, mixed in the mortar of negative experience. It is not necessary that impoverishment and pain must accompany you in your experience through life. I know there is a power, a presence, and a law within me, irresistibly drawing everything into my experience, which makes life worthwhile. Even the guy in that car in front of me. That actually isn't in the book, just so you know. I know that friendship, love, and riches, health, harmony, and happiness are mine. I know that nothing but good can go out from me. Therefore, the good I receive is but the completion of a circle, the fulfillment of my desire for all. I refuse to judge according to appearances, either mental or physical, no matter what the thought says or what the appearance seems to be. There is always a higher power. Upon this power, I rely with absolute confidence that it will never fail me. I repudiate all evil, cast out every fear that accompany it, and continuously exercise the dominion which rightfully belongs to me. And so it is. If you would join me in an affirmative prayer. There truly is only one. Spirit is in, through, and around me in this building, and this sanctuary, and this congregation, and the folks in Zoom. Spirit is everywhere. And I know that the words and the readings all are true. I can feel it resonate inside my very being. I feel the truth. And that truth is not just one person's truth, it's everyone's truth. We are all so blessed to be here and now, in this moment, exactly where we're supposed to be, on the right day, at the right time, with the right folks. God truly is all there is. And we are all connected to the one. Regardless of what the illusions look like sometimes, or the appearances look like sometimes, God is truly within all of us. My friend Jerry says, standing ready. And I've thought of that phrase often. And that's how God is and Spirit is for us. Standing ready, right within us, right before us, right behind us, right beside us, above us. I affirm all of these truths for me and for you, knowing that we are so blessed to be aware of the goodness within us and around us and in our lives. And all we have to do is remember the truth of our being. And I affirm that truth for myself today and every day. Thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I release it into the world. And it is done. And so it is. Thank you.
Before I bring Mason back up, I wanted to explain a little bit about the next song he'll be singing. It'll be in Latin, so unless somebody speaks Latin in here, you may not understand it. But this is a song that was written by Thomas Aquinas back in the 1700s. And it's been actually adopted by many, many composers throughout history. But the one that is usually used today is by César Franck. And so I just want to read a little bit of the interpretation. It's called Panis Angelicus. Panis Angelicus means bread of angels. And it starts off, the manna becomes the food for mankind. The bread of heaven gives form to the imagination. What a miracle. And so, without further ado, Mason Hooley.
angelicus, fit panis Dominum, dat panis celicus figuris terminum. Ores mirabilis, maneducat Dominum, pauper, pauper, servus et humilis. Pauper, pauper, servus, servus et humilis.
Give you a moment to all come back to earth. That was so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for finding him and bringing him to us. Would somebody be willing to do the offering? Bring the basket up. It's time for our offering. We acknowledge and receive our virtual gifts and our in-person gifts. We give great thanks for the offerings already given and those that we will be receiving, because we know that giving and receiving are both part of one flow. We affirm that we are also part of that flow. And we bless these gifts and know that they are multiplied throughout our community. We do quarterly donate a portion of our tithings to our community so that the flow continues. So we give great thanks for that. Thank you. Thank you, Sharon. There are a number of folks that we would like to give great thanks to who have contributed to the productions of today's service. We have our techie, Cleona. We have our camera and sound man, Edwin. We have our music, our musicians, and our speaker. And all of you participated, so bless you. Thank you. And now, we thank all of you out in Zoom land, too. You're not the forgotten stepchild. So, if you'd like, after the service, to go next door, we have beverages and goodies and great conversation. And if you'd like to stick around on Zoom for a little while and visit with everybody there. So please stand if you are able. We'll read the benediction and then followed by our congregational song. So the benediction. Spirit in the midst of us is mighty. Joy, peace, and eternal life are our true nature and flow through us into the world, and so it is. If you'd like, you can gather around, hold hands. Woo!